Well, welcome back to another Friday Night Disaster Report for the second weekend of April 2019. We shot some footage last week, but got interrupted, so we didn't get the whole video made. So we might throw that in a future one once we get the editing software set up in a computer that will actually run it. And I think we're getting closer to where we can get that done. Anyways, we'll show you some of the stuff that we're working on, some of the projects that come in, and some of our own stuff that we started working on here now that the weather's nicer, and where we are with everything. So let's go for a little walkabout. So, fella brought in a jug and piston and cylinder head off of a Honda quad, and no compression was the complaint. He'd taken it apart, and so we did the old gas down the runner's trick, and it run right out that exhaust valve. And it's interesting that it's burnt in two spots. Usually they only burn in one, and then the engine quits. And the intake valve, if you can see there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyways, it's grooved into that face of that valve really badly. But the seats and the head are in real good shape. So I guess it was carboned up pretty bad when we took it apart. I think that's because the rings weren't sealing, because whoever rebuilt the engine last time, and it definitely was worked on, their crosshatch idea was basically horizontal lines. They were obviously spinning their drill way too fast, and I don't know if you can see them in there or not, but anyways, the crosshatch is basically just horizontal lines. So the rings are not as tensioned as they should be, and they're wore, and the thing doesn't have that many hours on it, I guess, since it was done. So we're going to fix all that up, put a proper crosshatch in there. He's got rings and valves and everything coming in gaskets. So we'll do the machine part of it, lap the valves in, all that stuff, and then he'll put the engine back together once we get all the parts ready for him. And over here, we've got a yoke off the front axle of a Case tractor. And so we had to build this up here. This was wore down about a 1/4 inch in to the forging here. So we built that up. We're going to remachine that back down to size. And that goes into the piece that's over here that's actually cast iron. We did a spark test on it to be sure. And so if you look at that, you can see it's not backlit too bad. You can see how much wear is got in that. Oh, there's Tom Tom. Tom Tom the cat, what are you complaining about? Crash, everything falling on the floor. That's not too good. Okay, we'll lean that back up. Boys, Tom Tom's doing some complaining today. Anyways, you can see this is what happens when you have a cast iron vise. No name quality. Didn't even have it tight, just popped off. But anyways, we're going to braze that together one of these days just for light holding purposes. And that piece there, we're going to braze it up because it's cast iron. Machine it back, get a decent fit between that piece and the other piece. And machine them to match. And then we got to bush this one. And actually, was a bronze bushing in that yoke. We're going to put a new one in that. And we're going to bore this one out enough to put bushings in back to the proper pin size. And so we've been working on that a bit today. We got a 5th wheel here. Fella dropped off for his truck. And as you can see, it looks a little different because that's actually an adapter in there that goes from the kingpin to a ball, so you can haul an agricultural style trailer. And so we're going to build a set of locks to keep the 5th wheel from articulating so that it stays horizontal, and then he can haul that kind of stuff around. So we're working on designing that. And this Dodge here is in, the air conditioning isn't working, the compressor ain't turning on, and we got a communication fault between the HVAC module and the body control module, so that could get fairly in depth. And then this here grain truck that you've probably seen glimpses of, that's my nemesis. Been here forever. I'm trying to get the brakes working on it and brake parts for it and you name it. Anyways, we finally got it back together. Bled the brakes, and yeah, two steel lines are leaking. Cracked, rusted through. So anyways, we got to go to work now, and maybe Monday, and put those lines. Of course, the lines run between the wheel cylinders on the backing plate, so that's gonna makes it even more fun because you gotta have tight little bends in them. And then over there, that's our 04 Ford that we want to fix up because it's a really nice truck, and but it's got the typical cam phaser problems that burnt valves and took out a piston. So we had it running last weekend and confirmed that we definitely got to pull the engine. So I think we're going to lift the cab and the box off it because I want to clean the frame up, and then we're going to rebuild the engine and get that. We got to get that done by the 1st of June, and that's my my goal. And over here, let's see the old, what we're gonna call the pole track, I can't remember now. Anyways, I can't remember what we called that. We come up with a name for it. What was it? Tadpole or something? I don't know. Kind of looks like a frog's. Maybe we'll call it the tadpole. Kind of got frog eyes, and it's got poles. A tadpole, sure. Anyways, oh, old Tom getting under my feet there, and the middle toe here has got the old 75 Datsun on it, so we can move it around. And we brought it in last weekend, and you can see the engine's a little shorter than what it used to be. We went to start it and or turn it over and found that it had a broken valve. So see, we got a hinge problem back there. The hinge isn't bolted in proper and it's pushing up on the cowl. But anyway, so we got the head off it, and I'm gonna put a valve in it and whatever. And I got that piece of that valve here. I should go find it and show you. It's kind of odd because the actual face of the valve that you typically grind to surface the valve actually come off the valve. It corroded the head of the valve under the face of the valve and separated. So that was kind of odd thing. I'll show it to you. Anyways, the old cocky, the cock shut, charged up the battery. The battery had been sitting since last October maybe. Put a battery in them, hit the button first time over, fire right up. So it's working good. Of course, Miss Massey's in spring retirement for the time being. So anyways, that's let me see, what else are we working on? That's about it for now, I guess. Current projects, and I'll see where to set that valve. It's over here. Of course, we're still tinkering on the old Hudson in between times. It hasn't been getting as much attention as I'd like, but other things kind of moved up the priority chain. So here's something else we're working on. We got a Husqvarna rototiller fellow I brought in a while back, and he said it quit while he was running it, and the valves don't valve. You can pull her over and no valve action. So we're pulling the engine off it and find out what stripped or broke or what's going on with that. But here we can get decent lighting on it. Is you can see how that valve is all funky, and this ring here took me a minute to figure out what it was. It looks like just a ring, but it's actually the face of the valve, and it sits on the valve like that. So what happened, for some reason, is the valve corroded or burned away under the seat. I don't know if I can get that to go together, but anyways, that I'll play around with it here for a minute. You can kind of see there. Anyways, the seat actually corroded away, and that surface actually come off the, I thought it was part of the seat or the head, but it's not. It's actually part of the valve. And so anyways, I think that's probably why they quit running it. But it's been 30 years, so not a big surprise if they didn't remember exactly what happened. But said it was low on power. Well, I guess it would be. Got a valve in there, but it didn't do any damage to the piston or to the head. A couple little marks on it. But anyways, other than that, just been busy with the basic auto repair stuff that we're always doing. And got a fellow coming in here in a little bit. Oh, there's the quality control. Tucker, say hello. We've been conserving energy like crazy here lately. But anyway, there's supposed to be a fellow showing up here shortly to get some tires changed. So we'll do that, and maybe do a little diagnosing on that Dodge out there. And Saturday afternoon, I'm kind of low on ambition, but I'm running around all morning doing stuff. But anyways, we'll see what we get done, and what we don't get done, we'll do on Monday. So I guess that's about it for now, and we'll talk to you next week.